The story began with our protagonist, who had nothing but regrets in his past life. His whole identity was shaped by the choices he made in the past, and in the end, he could not change anything even if he desperately wished to. So now in his second life, he wanted to try a little harder than in the past to not have any regrets in this life. The scene shifted back to his former life, when he was working overtime in the office again, hunched over a computer until late at night. Just because of overtime, he would have to make do with only cup noodles for dinner. After he was done with work, his colleague joked how they always end up working so late in this trash company. Our protagonist was tired of this daily routine, then he noticed a car raging towards them, with a girl already flying after being hit by it. The protagonist was hit the same way and was about to die. He never thought his last meal would be cup noodles. He wished he could at least eat fresh vegetables one last time. Seconds later, he felt a strange liquid with a sweet and nostalgic taste in it. He also felt something like rice cake with it. He was shocked when he realized that he was actually drinking the milk of a woman. He got startled and spit the milk, as it was a natural reaction, and his mother calmly laid him down in the baby bed. He realized he was a baby now, and this place did not seem to be Japan. Right then, someone approached him, something like a fairy, and claimed to have come here after sensing an interesting magic energy. She was sure he must be a reincarnator. The protagonist saw her with amazement, as he had never seen a tiny person before. She exclaimed that was rude of him and introduced herself as Ariana, Spirit of the Wind. She could read his thoughts, and since he was able to see her, it means he has the talent to be a spirit user. So once he gets a bit older, he might be able to form a contract with a spirit. He didn't know what she meant by contract, and was it going to be with her? Ariana boasted she didn't come that cheap, so he would have to see it for himself later. Moreover, our guy wanted to confirm if he really reincarnated. She can't confirm it for him, and just said there were other cases of reincarnators in this world in the past as well, so it wasn't that unusual. He asked her where exactly was this place, to which Ariana replied he was currently in a remote village which was currently dying. He saw her leave outside through the window and felt a pleasant wind coming from it. He also smelled the fresh vegetables from outside, which got him excited, and this was how he was reincarnated into this world and received his new name Lucas. 5 years later, Lucas was busy reading a grimoire he found in his mother's room. Lucas was living a fulfilling life. In the past, he learned the basics of magic from Ariana. Apparently, one could activate magic by forming a magic circle in their mind and channeling mana into it. Thanks to Ariana's teachings, he was now able to use basic earth, water, fire, and wind magic. He could also check his status, in which he found out that he got really high mana levels, which must be a perk of being an reincarnator. Magical beasts also existed in this world, and the forest his village was surrounded by had a lot of beasts in it. Right then someone took his grimoire. She was a girl named Isabelle and her age was 8. She asked Lucas to help her with farm work. He was kinda dragged to help instead of being asked nicely, and he can't refuse since Isabelle was his big sister. She was a quiet kind, just like their father, and she can't see spirits, so she doesn't know about Ariana. Only Lucas could see her, and that aside, his father told him they would be harvesting vegetables today. His father's name was William, and he managed their huge farm all by himself. He was an incredibly talented and hard-working farmer, and Lucas wanted to help his father too. He tried to pull out a huge radish from the field, but even after struggling, he failed to do so and got tired pretty quickly. Ariana commented he was pretty weak. Lucas claimed it's just too tough for a 5-year-old. She asked him why don't he try it using wind magic. He figured it was worth a try and began trying to shape wind magic as she instructed, to only pull out the crop without damaging it or soil around it. The radish was slowly pulled and successfully harvested the next moment, although he was pushed back by it. Lucas was pretty happy to see it worked, and the size and weight of radish was amazing as well. He was reminded again how amazing his dad was to grow radish this big. He shared that he managed to pull it out while his dad was sweating, being as cool as ever in Lucas's eyes. After the farming was done, they returned to their house and celebrated harvests with Lucas's mother's cooking. Lucas can never get tired of food this good, and Mom was happy he likes it. Mom then asked Isabelle if she was enjoying her school. She replied with a short yes, and followed up saying she would leave the village after graduation to become an adventurer. Lucas looked up to his sister to be already thinking of the future while still being in school. Isabella's ambition delighted Mom, stating it was great to have dreams. She then asked Lucas if he had one too. Lucas replied he just wanted to take over the farm when he grows up. Both his parents were shocked by that, and his dad placed the cup on the table with some force. He plainly asked Lucas to follow him and took him to an area a bit far away from their home. The first idea Lucas got was that it might be a wasteland. His father pointed out at some corner with two trees, one alive and one being dead with some space between them. He gave a task to Lucas to till the space between them in 3 days. Lucas went to give it a try right away, but the tiller was too heavy for him. He ended up falling back to the ground. He needed to somehow use it if he wanted to till the soil, and just swinging it straight downward was like a workout. The soil was also hard, making him wonder how his father managed to till the whole farm all by himself. He must be pretty strong, and while Lucas was working, his father was looking at him from the sides. Lucas noticed his father as he turned and left him to work on the task he was given. Lucas was puzzled, and the spirit asked him if he wanted to play. Lucas wondered if he disappointed his father, in which case he did not want to give up and work hard to make him proud. Then his sister popped up from a bush and told him his posture was terrible. Lucas wondered how long Isabel had been there. Then she came and asked him to give her the tiller. After she took it, she dashed and hit the soil with it with some real force. He can't help but think she was beautiful and really good at tilling as well. Isabel decided to train him how to till the field. She asked him to follow her and took him to another area. Ariana was bored, while Lucas was now holding a wooden stick just like his sister, who was already in a battle stance. She asked him to make the first move, adding that he must become strong as well to survive monster attacks in future. Monsters also come to ruin their fields from time to time. Lucas knows she was right, but he did not want to waste time doing anything other than tilling right now, since that was what he was supposed to do. She told him if he doesn't do this, he would certainly die if an attack happens in future, so there's no way out of this training. Lucas had no choice but to do it, so he charged at her with the stick, but she effortlessly hit both his stick to the side and his cheek from the other. Lucas was sitting with a red cheek, as his sister did not go easy at all. Then she asked him to come to her again. They got busy in training, unaware that someone was watching over them from the tree. After she taught him for a while, she told him that would be enough for today. He thanked her for the lesson, although all he got was being beaten up during the lesson and getting bruised. Ariana told him his sister was a demon, not showing mercy even to her brother. Lucas was more worried about the time it took. Then he was approached by an old man, commenting he must have had a rough time. He told Lucas his fundamentals were all wrong. Lucas replied he was just not that interested in swords. The old man ignored him and continued to offer to teach him a few things. Lucas thought it was a pain that everyone around him was like this, as the old man went on about how strong he used to be back in his days. He then got a backache and went down like nothing, apologizing for causing him trouble. Lucas didn't mind and helped the old man back by massaging. The old man asked if that girl back then was his sister, was she a strong one? He replied she was fast and hit really hard, which means she was indeed strong. And the old man figured the reason behind her strength was that she was boosting herself with mana. Lucas didn't know he could get stronger with mana. The old man told him it's called physical enhancement, and he would show him how it was done. The old man showed him while describing he should channel mana throughout his entire body, then move in that state, all while visualizing every nerve in his body. Lucas tried to stop the old man from pushing himself too much, but the old man suddenly became strong enough to jump meters high like it was nothing. The old man claimed to be able to jump even higher in his younger days, and now he would just leave the young man to practice it and figure out the rest himself. The old man figured it would take him at least 3 years to be able to use mana as naturally as breathing. Lucas wondered if the old man's back was going to be okay, while the old man thought his strength just amazed Lucas. Lucas asked if he could give it a try. The old man tried to stop him, saying he must learn how to use mana first. But this time, Lucas ignored him and followed the steps the old man showed earlier. The old man went on about how physical enhancement was something one can't master overnight. It would require daily training for years. But to his surprise, Lucas jumped way higher than the old man ever could. Lucas was even able to see past the forest from that height. The old man can't believe his eyes, while Lucas wonders if he could use this physical enhancement for other things as well. As he was free falling on the ground, the old man kept telling him to tuck and roll. Lucas didn't listen, so the old man had to use physical enhancement to catch Lucas himself. Lucas ran away in a hurry, saying he needed to try this out in something, unaware the old man strained himself just to catch him earlier. Although the old man expected just as much from William's child. Now the old man just has to figure out how to get up. Meanwhile, Lucas returned to the field he was tasked to till, and Spirit asked what he was going to do. He figured he could use physical enhancement to till the field, and since his arms and legs were short, he lacked strength to handle the tiller and fell down due to imbalance every time. This time, he reinforced his legs and core with physical enhancement, then adjusted the mana flow to keep his posture stable. He reinforced his grip as well to not lose control of swing. This time he gave it a try to till the soil and it worked perfectly. His body felt really light, even though he hit the soil with a heavy tiller. He realized it wasn't like the soil was hard, he was just transferring the force the wrong way. He figured it might actually work, and now he just has to get the task done in time. With his improved strength, he was tilling the field when he noticed something odd and jumped, wondering what was that thing. It looked like some weed, but the odd thing moved and it turned out to be another tiny spirit. She apologized for intrusion and was amazed to see he could see her. He wondered who she might be, but Ariana shouted in displeasure, not wanting to see her again. The new spirit introduced herself as Harmony, spirit of the earth. She mentioned the soil here felt just perfect for napping, but Lucas could not till the field that way. She ignored his words and told him that fields with earth spirits have bigger harvests, so her being here was a big deal. Lucas told her it was not even his field to begin with, and he can't exactly tell his father about spirits either. Ariana had asked him to keep it a secret. Harmony called him a cheapskate and mentioned she had a suggestion for him. Out of nowhere, she punched his lips with the back of her hands and stated that was how a spirit forms a contract with a human. Lucas felt something strange in his chest. While Ariana shouted at Harmony for making a contract with him out of nowhere, she had her eyes set on him first. Harmony did not notice Ariana until now, then Ariana had muted his lips suddenly and claimed that was how to form a contract with her. Although she mentioned he was her servant now, Ariana then went on to fight Harmony for cutting the line, while Lucas was not sure what exactly happened with him. He seemed to have formed a contract with a spirit. Lucas told Harmony to move since he needed to till before it gets any darker. This time, after he hit the soil, he ended up hitting the land really hard and formed a crater on the ground. Ariana forgot to tell him that his mana went up after forming a contract. He checked his status, confirming the significant rise in mana. He was sure about one thing, that a normal 5-year-old was surely not supposed to have this much stats. Meanwhile, back at home, William and Isabel returned home almost at the same time, and they looked at each other before entering the house. Only to be scolded by Mom, questioning why Lucas was not home yet, whose fault could it be among those two. They realized they were doomed, so they immediately went out to get Lucas back home. Isabel asked Father if was worried about Lucas. He didn't say anything, and after they reached the fields, he called out to Lucas and was shocked to find out the whole area in front of them was tilled. William and Isabel were left astonished, as they saw Lucas was still tilling more fields all by himself. Whereas Lucas was going crazy, as he started to have so much fun digging that he lost all sense. Ariana was trying to stop him from going overboard, but it was no use. Only then Lucas realized it was already night, and his father and big sister had come to fetch him. His father came closer with an expressionless face and said its name, making Lucas think he might be punished severely. But to his surprise, William patted his head and praised him for doing a good job. Lucas was happy to be praised, then his father checked his hands, which seemed pretty bruised and torn. Ariana thought it must be painful. William asked if it hurts. Lucas replied it's not hurting at all. William smiled, and Isabel knew he was just acting tough. Right then, a magical beast appeared in the field, and it was extremely huge, leaving Lucas surprised seeing one for the first time. Isabel pushed him to the back, while William picked the tiller up. Lucas recalled his mother's warning to not go anywhere near the forest. There were magical beasts in there, who sometimes break through the walls and get into the village. Lucas was terrified, as he didn't want to die nor let his sister or father get hurt by that monster. But turns out he had nothing to worry about, as his father's comm switch was flipped, turning completely sinister. He threw the tiller with excitement, and the tiller hit the forehead of the wild boar monster. Right then, the wild boar's head was completely blown off into pieces, leaving blood splats over Lucas and Isabel's faces. William himself looked like some serial killer, and he was excited about having hot pot today. Lucas now recalls his mother saying his father was a skilled hunter. Later, the dinner was served to them, with meat and vegetables hot pot. Mom asked Lucas if he liked the boar meat, but he vaguely replied it's good with not so much expression. His father and mother wonder why he was so down. Lucas was actually more of a vegetable person than a meat-moving one, and eating daikon, carrots, and cabbage. Every vegetable grown by his father was delicious and sweet. His mother seemed glad Lucas was having fun, and father noticed Lucas' interest in vegetables. He decided to talk seriously about it to him, saying that farming life was hard work. Lucas claimed he knew already, still being excited about it. William repeated again that it was really hard work, to which Lucas replied that he actually wanted to become a farmer just like his father. He loved sweet and delicious vegetables like the ones his father grows. Mother and father could tell he was serious, then William stood up and went to his room, slamming the door shut tightly. Lucas got worried, thinking he might have made his father mad, but Mother chuckled, stating that did not seem to be the case, it's the opposite. Inside his room, William was actually very happy about it, to think his son wanted to be like him. But being a tsundere, he can't break his cool persona and let his emotions show on his face. Mother added that father actually went out of his way to ask a master to teach him. Lucas wondered which master she brushed it off, while his sister asked if he wanted more meat. Next day, Lucas was with his father, teaching him about seeds of corn, tomatoes, and eggplant, and how to sow them in the field. Lucas was following his father carefully and decided to plant cucumbers in space over there. Ariana asked if he was gonna plant the whole field for real, which he would. And that aside, his father told him that from today, this field would belong to Lucas completely. Lucas was excited about when the harvesting time would come. Mother offered to make him potato salad. William was holding something behind his back as he called out Lucas and told him he brought a birthday present for him, a book on vegetables. Lucas was happy with the gift and thanked father. Ariana, on other hand, tried to play it off that his birthday was next month, she thought. His mother gifted him a grimoire, and his sister got a strong wooden sword for him. Lucas felt warm to get gifts from them, and he truly loved his family. He noticed Ariana was going somewhere. When asked, she claimed to be taking a walk. At that time, Lucas didn't know that this village he was living in was having a secret so huge that it could shake the entire world. Some time passed and summer was just around the corner. Lucas was happy to see his crops have been growing healthily, wanting to harvest them as soon as possible. Suddenly, he noticed one of the daikon leaves was ruined by insects, which dealt a heavy blow to his heart. He noticed the same happened to tomato leaves. Harmony told him it was done by pests, and he asked her how it happened. Harmony was in the soil as always, and her presence kept the soil healthy here. She told him delicious vegetables attract insects, and since these ones were being grown with a spirit here, it was obvious. He didn't want this to keep up, and Ariana asked Harmony to use her power to get rid of them. Ariana was mad at her, as she claimed that wouldn't be possible, because insects were her friends since spirits were part of nature as well. Ariana kicked her for being useless, while Lucas thought he would have to figure something out on his own. He got an idea and asked father for pesticides, but he didn't have any, in which case Lucas asked how does his dad manage his whole field by himself and get rid of pests at the same time. Lucas thought it would be easy to just show it to him, and asked Lucas to watch closely. As Lucas turned to battle mode and began carefully killing the pests with his bare hands at rocket speed without damaging the crops. The pests were killed, and William asked Lucas if he understood how it's done now. Lucas just replied vaguely with a yes, thinking that was beyond human capabilities. He decided it would be better to look into it himself on how to make pesticides. He read in a book that would require some plants and flowers to do so. Ariana told him about those plants in the picture and informed him he could find them in the forest. But he can't go to the forest since he was just a kid. Harmony advised him to go to a house in the village which has these plants already. Lucas asked her what house does she mean, after which he was guided to that house by the spirit. Although he was pretty beat up, because he just came here after a training session with his sister Isabel. He noticed Ariana seemed scared and warned him to be careful around this house. Since the person who lives here had the highest magic power in the whole village, way more even than Lucas. Lucas figured he could ask about magic as well while he's at it, and when he tried calling out if there was anyone here, Ariana told him not to be so loud, and at the same time they heard some rustling in nearby bushes. Adriana jumped in fear, but it was for naught, as it was just a small animal. Ariana wondered if a demon lord lives here or something, then someone came out and asked Lucas if he was a visitor. The person was wearing a scary mask, which terrified both Lucas and Ariana. Then the person removed their mask and introduced herself as Erica. Although she may have been late introducing as the kid already passed out. She took him in, and when he came to, she figured he must be Lucas from William's family. He told her he wanted to make pesticide. Ariana was being wary of the old lady, and seeing that she was still afraid of her, Lucas asked Erica if she was a witch. She replied she was retired now and gardening was just a hobby of hers. She noticed that Lucas seemed to be a spirit wielder. Lucas was startled by the sudden revelation and didn't understand how she figured it out. He asked if she could see spirits, to which she replied she can't, but she could sense their presence. Now she told him he was free to take any ingredients for pesticides, and while he was at it, he could also try making statue water, which was raw alcohol. He wondered if it was something that was helpful in pesticides. Erica nodded that pesticide could be made with it as well, and she got a recipe book for it here. He thanked her for the suggestion, and Ariana reminded him he was only 5. Erica asked him to share a bit of alcohol with her after he made it in return for help. Afterwards, Lucas took his leave, thinking Erica must like to drink a lot. On his way back, Ariana commented it was nerve-wracking, but Lucas thought Erica was a nice person. Ariana asked if he was really gonna make alcohol. He claimed it was only to make statue water to make pesticides, not for drinking himself. He saw ingredients listed were sweet potato and barley, which wasn't hard to get. However, he has to figure out a way to collect clean and plentiful water from the lake here. Drawing water simply would take too long, and he hasn't learned an intermediate spell to create water with magic yet. He wishes if only he could make a contract with a water spirit, it would be easy, but he doesn't know where to find one. Ariana punched him, scolding him for trying to rely too much on spirits and put some effort into himself. Lucas was feeling bad as she read his mind and scolded him as well. Ariana then noticed something in the water. It seemed like a person upside down, drowning in water. It was a girl, calling for help as she was drowning in water. Lucas didn't think much in an emergency and jumped in water with physical enhancement to reach her as fast as possible. He asked Ariana to tell Erica or an adult to come here quickly. Ariana went to do so, while Lucas approached the drowning girl from front. He tried to make her calm, but he messed up, because one should never approach a panicking person from front in water. It would drown him too at this rate. He repeated his efforts to calm her, but now he was being dragged underwater too. While drowning, he saw the girl and thought she was the same age as him. He was sorry that he could not save her, and also sorry for leaving his family just like this. Right then, the lake water began reacting. A large water body came out with Lucas and the girl in her hands. She carefully placed them on the ground. Lucas came back to senses and saw the one who saved them. He asked her who she was. She came to him in her original form, claiming to have finally found him. She introduced herself as Maria, the water spirit, and she had been waiting so long for him. He asked the water spirit if she could save her. She replied she would do anything for the one she loves, and without any delay, she formed a contract with him by kissing on the cheek. After that, Lucas felt good, and he didn't expect his first kiss would be with a spirit. His body felt much lighter now. Maria told him that water holds the power to heal, so he was healed and now she would stay by his side and protect him. But out of nowhere, Ariana rushed in and kicked Maria without warning, sending her flying into the water. She yelled out what the hell was she doing to Lucas, and what exactly was Lucas doing, getting all cozy with another spirit while she was gone. He tried to explain it wasn't like he was getting cozy, then the water spirit kicked Ariana and remarked she never expected to meet a gorilla here of all places. She told her not to act so high and mighty for someone who was only second best after her. They began fighting each other while Lucas noticed the girl was awake now. But when the girl saw the water spirit's large body, she was shocked thinking it was a ghost and collapsed once again. A few days later, Lucas was in his home, and he was done with making raw ingredients for alcohol and just needed to prepare the final product now. Ariana asked what that was. He told her it was moromi, and if he distilled it, he would get sock. He claimed it was done so quickly thanks to Maria, and she smirked while giving a mean look to Ariana as if to show her place. Maria began drinking a bit to push her sorrows away, while Lucas advised her not to have it raw. He was then approached by Mother, who had someone who wanted to meet Lucas. It was the same girl from before with her father, and Lucas wondered what they were here for. The father of the girl quickly got down on his knees and thanked Lucas for saving his daughter. Lucas told her it wasn't necessary, but the old man kept insisting. Lucas learned the girl he saved was the daughter of the village chief, Lynette, and her father asked her to thank Lucas. She played it cool, saying it was not like she asked to be saved or anything. Lucas realized she was a tsundere, which makes it the third tsundere in his life now. The village chief backs her daughter's words, but Ariana doesn't think that girl even said anything like a thanks at all. They figured he was a doting father. The village chief added that Lynette's brother apparently teased her, saying she can't swim, so she had been practicing it when she was about to drown. He noticed Lucas seemed to have something behind it and asked what it was. Lucas replied it was alcohol, which shocked his mother, while the other two guys were kind of looking forward to it. Lucas stated he was trying to make it by using it as an ingredient for pesticide, which they thought was wonderful, clearly wanting to get a sip of alcohol. The village chief even allowed him to use his kiln to distill it, in exchange for sharing a little of it with him. The village chief was envious, as William got a fine son here, while his own son on other hand was troublesome. Lynette didn't know what pesticide was, to which Lucas replied it was a spray to keep bugs off the crops. She asked him if he was growing vegetables, but she hated them. Lucas was left stoned like a statue upon hearing that, and she added the vegetables were bitter. He told her they were sweet though, especially tomatoes. She smirked and claimed she could eat tomatoes only out of all vegetables since they were sweet. Lucas got it and said he would grow vegetables that even Lynette could eat then. Lynette was feeling good by his words and asked him if it's a promise. He agreed, and she continued, saying in that case she would let him make her Lucas's wife. This left him shocked, and the village chief was all up for this pair, already thinking of Lucas as his son-in-law. Mother was also happy by this engagement. Then she noticed the book Lucas got from Erica. When she asked, he told her where he got it. His mother, Myra, claimed it was a great coincidence since Miss Erica was her magic teacher. She figured they should thank her sometime. Lucas didn't know that, and after some time, he went to Erica with some alcohol after distillation. He thanked her for the book and help. She told him not to mention it. She heard that he also saved a girl at the lake. However, Lucas doesn't think he deserves thanks, since they were saved by water spirit Maria. Myra stated that having a spirit to lend him power was itself a talent, so he should be proud. He accepted her words and mentioned having heard Erica was his mother's teacher. Erica admitted she was indeed Myra's teacher, and she was an exceptionally gifted child. Lucas asked if she could teach him magic as well. Erica smirked and wondered what she should ask him to bring next time, obviously some wine next time. Lucas claimed but that would require him to grow grapes, which would take longer. She claimed to be just kidding and wanted to confirm something. He wondered what could it be. She then mentioned it concerns his birth, and she questioned straight up if he was actually a reincarnator. That left our boy shocked and sweating, because that was something supposed to be a secret. How does she know that? She seemed pretty certain about him being a reincarnator, and Lucas can't decide if he should play dumb or change the subject. But if he fumbled trying to cover it up, Erica would catch his lie. However, he doesn't think getting found out was a big deal at all, given she and Ariana already figured it out. Erica cleaned up a bit and even prepared some tea, while our boy was lost in thoughts. Then she yelled he was definitely a reincarnator. Lucas agreed he was and asked how she knew about it. She mentioned because it was rare for someone his age to be a spirit user, and he was kind of a bad actor. He doesn't know if that was actually a compliment or comment, but he feels a bit down. She told him not to worry and claimed to be a summoned one herself. He didn't know what that meant, to which she replied that she was just summoned to this world while she was still alive. It was about 60 years ago. They called her here to defeat the demon lord, which was a long and bloody tale in short. But maybe she would tell him about it someday if she feels like it. Now that Lucas thinks about it, he wonders if he was reincarnated here to defeat something as well. Ariana already gave up, saying he can go alone if he wants, and Marie suggested running away with her. Lucas wished to just keep farming forever and enjoy his life, and according to Erica, reincarnators were rarer than summoners, so he better keep it a secret. He received magic lessons from her while working in farms, and time passed by, until it was finally summer harvest season. Lucas was delighted by the crops growing in his farms, ripened and shining brightly. He asked Lynette to come and eat some, but she told him to feel free to keep eggplants. She was only interested in tomatoes. Lucas decided to cook for them in that case and cut eggplant into small pieces, then sprinkled some salt while cooking it. Lynette at same time was cooking something chaotic of her own. In the end, they mixed in the vegetables and cooled it down with the help of water. They were excited as the eggplant and tomato marinade was completed. As for the taste, when Lynette tried it, it was extremely sour for her. Even the master arrived out of nowhere and gave the food a bad rating. Lucas asked the old man since when he's here, ignoring that, the old man stated he prefers his eggplant summered. Lucas offered some cucumber to master, and he wished to have some sock along with it. Lucas recalled his master's name was Montes, and he just happened to have taught him body enhancement that day while passing by. Montes was Lucas's father's sword master, and now he was teaching him and his sister swordsmanship. Montes saw promise in Lucas, but his sister Isabel was strong on a whole another level. And above all, she also had big buttocks. Lynette wondered what this old man was going on about now. Lucas figured master seems drunk now, so they should just ignore him. Lynette then asked what about other vegetables, to which he replied they were currently small and not seeming to get enough nutrients. Right now, he was using manure as fertilizer, which he got from the cows of Cliff, who was a farmer's son. Lucas realized that droppings from the forest makes the best fertilizer, but he can't get enough, and had to ask his father and sister to get some when they go out for hunting. He asked Lynette if her brother also goes into the forest. She replied her brother Jeffrey was just too weak and couldn't do it. Master stated Isabel was just special, since she was strong and got great butts, which was why she could go into the forest. Lucas did not wish to hear more of that. Then he noticed Lynette seemed to be nervous. He asked if she needed to pee, then Ariana and Marie hit him hard in the face, trying to make him understand the hints. Lynette asked him if he was free tonight. He was puzzled. She asked if it's for the fireworks festival. She wanted to watch them with him. He recalled his mother and Erica were excited about fireworks as well, and he guessed he could watch them with her. Lynette was very happy to hear it and was looking forward to it until he said he would invite Cliff as well. She was turned off and on the surface said she didn't mind, but actually she did. Ariana and Marie told him he doesn't get women's hearts at all, even his master called him a virgin. Right then, a guy called him and asked if he was Isabel's brother. A silver-haired guy with his hands in pocket, and Lynette called him her brother Jeffrey. He was also the eldest son of the village chief. Lucas introduced himself politely to Jeffrey as he figured he should be respectful to the next village chief. He thanked him for using kiln. But Jeffrey had no idea and next Lucas offered him some fresh vegetables to eat. But Jeffrey straight up turned down the vegetables, claiming that a man must eat meat more than vegetables. Montes could see Jeffrey was weak and even his butt was scrawny. Jeffrey was offended by the comment, while Lynette said it can't be helped since her brother got hemorrhoids. Jeffrey got pissed off and punched Lucas since he couldn't hit his sister. Then Jeffrey's leg stumbled into the cow's manure, and he was oppressed by the dirty shoes. Jeffrey figured that must be why his sister Isabel smells like crap too, leaving him to wonder if he really smells that much. Master Montes and Lynette confirmed he did, which left him devastated. Then Jeffrey asked Lucas where Isabel was. He replied she went into the forest with father on hunting. Jeffrey was startled by that news, and Lucas added that he wanted to go along with his sister to collect magic beasts' manure. But she told him those who were not full-fledged man can't go into the forest to collect manure. This hurt Jeffrey's pride, while Montes added men who don't have good but can't go into the forest either. Lucas said his sister never said that, but Jeffrey was done here and immediately began running to the forest to prove himself to Isabel. While Lucas saw him sprinting towards the forest, he asked Lynette why her brother came here. Lynette figured he must have come to invite Isabel to the fireworks festival because apparently he has feelings for Isabel. Lucas didn't expect that and knew it would be difficult for the poor guy. He asked Lynette if her brother was always like that. She agreed, adding that was why she hated him. Later that night, Cliff came to Lucas and apologized for being late. Although he wondered why Lynette was not here. Lucas said she didn't show up, that's all, which made the situation clear to Cliff, and he realized it would have been better if Cliff had not come to her after all. Lucas didn't understand why, being dense as always, then he went ahead with Cliff as the fireworks festival began. Cliff was mesmerized by them and asked Lucas if his mom was the one setting the fireworks off. He nodded and said Erica was there too. Then Cliff began to tremble and said he wanted a girlfriend so badly. Lucas doesn't understand why since he is only 5 now. Cliff stated it must be nice for Lucas to have a wife, but he doesn't recall having one, while Cliff ignored and went on about how his life would pass miserably milking cows. Lucas tried to calm him down, then someone showed up and claimed fire surely riles up one's heart. She liked the fireworks as she seemed to be a fire spirit. She introduced herself as Injured Spirit of Fire, and she was eager to meet Lucas till now. Lucas didn't expect to meet a fire spirit here, and other spirits didn't like how loud-mouthed Injured was. Injured called Ariana and Marie as wind and water punks. Cliff noticed Lucas seemed off and asked if he was okay. He replied it's nothing, realizing once again normal people can't see spirits. Out of nowhere, Lucas was hit again, clearly to form a contract, and Injured said with this she was contracted with him. Lucas was forced into another contract just like that. Then he noticed some adults mentioning Jeffrey's name, saying the village chief was worried. Lucas wondered what happened. Meanwhile, at the same time, other adults from the village were looking around in the forest for Jeffrey. The village chief was sorry for troubling everyone because of his foolish son, who went into the forest on his own and hasn't come back yet. Monty said since there were monsters around the area, they should split into teams and search for him, and anyone who finds him was supposed to send a flare signal. The village chief was really sorry and also worried about his son at the same time. William assured them they would find his son safely. Lucas learned what happened from Lynette, who had been crying for her brother since he went missing. Lucas tried to comfort her, also feeling guilty about the situation. His sister told him to go home, she would handle things here, but he can't sit still and wonder if he could do anything. Isabel told him those without power to fight monsters can't do anything in the forest. Lucas felt helpless and on the way back blamed it all on himself, because Jeffrey went to the forest because of what he said earlier. And now there was nothing he could do. Harmony tried to ask if he was troubled. Other spirits can't see him sad either. Then Ariana went and called his name, telling him to look up to her until he did. She asked him what he saw before him. He wondered what she was trying to say. She replied that since he got spirits like them, it's not like he can't do anything and use their powers to help. He heads out into the forest right away, using physical enhancement and wind magic to increase his running speed, while asking Harmony to help out in finding Jeffrey. She could sense his location through vibrations on Earth. Since he also got Ariana, she was keeping him updated about the surroundings. He thanked her for help. She figured she could do that much for the guy she acknowledged. He continued the search until he finally found Jeffrey, who had one of his legs hurt and could not move. He was shocked when Lucas called him. Now that Lucas found him, he asked the fire spirit to send a signal to others with fireworks. Lucas takes a look at Jeffrey's hurt leg, while Injured sends the fireworks signal to the sky. Lucas used his healing magic to treat Jeffrey's wound, and he was amazed to see Lucas could use healing magic at his age. Lucas said it was possible thanks to water magic, which gave Marie something to boast about. Now he figured it would be okay and the search party would arrive here shortly. Right then he realized another thing he should be worried about, that if other adults found out he was here in the forest, while he was not supposed to, they would give him a good scolding. So he decided to leave first, and Jeffrey shouted at him not to leave him behind. Moreover, he got something here in this bag for him. Lucas wondered what it could be, but when he opened it, it smelled like crazy, and Jeffrey told him it was a monster dropping. Lucas realized Jeffrey came all the way here for this, and now Jeffrey asked him to make sure to tell Isabel that he was a man who had proven himself. Ariana asked Harmony how far the search party was. She replied she could sense humans heading this way, but then she also picked up monsters also heading this way. It left the poor Lucas scared, as she counted it was more than 3. Right then, some creepy and absurdly huge monsters showed up around them and covered their path. Ariana smacked Harmony for not telling them sooner, and now Lucas was in a pinch, trying to wonder if he should grab Jeffrey and run as fast he could. But then he realized it was impossible, as he recalled his father's words that monsters traveled in packs and they hunt as a team. So if Lucas encounters them, he can't escape, and the best bet is to target the leader. Once the leader dies, their coordination falls apart. This means Lucas got no choice but to right here against the monsters. Ariana was surprised he wasn't leaving, while Lucas spotted the leader of this monster group with the scar and bigger size. He formed a fireball and condensed it with wind magic, after which he formed it into a spinning harrow and shot it straight at the minister's leader. While the monster was focused on the fireball, he ended up being stuck in the ground, unable to dodge. Lucas had used his water and earth magic to turn the ground into mud, resulting in a solid hit as the fireball landed on the monster. Spirits wonder if they got it, but Lucas knew it won't be that simple, as the firepower was not enough. Moreover, despite the damage, the monster seemed only angrier now. It did open a gap for our boy to take Jeffrey and escape while they could. At the same time, a masked person arrived, which was Erica, and she used her magic swiftly to deal with the situation with ease and defeated the monster. Lucas was glad to see Erica here, and she was glad she managed to arrive in time and told him he did great buying time. Lucas seemed to be at his limit and collapsed on the ground after exhausting himself. He was then picked up by his father, who arrived with other adults soon after, and he didn't understand what Lucas was doing out here in the forest. The village chief retrieved his son, scolding him even in sleep. William thanked Erica for saving his son, but she replied that she did nothing. It was Lucas who found Jeffrey. His way of fighting the magical beast was also impressive, telling William he should be proud of his son. William was flustered as a proud father. Then she added that she believed Lucas had earned the right to be allowed to enter the forest. William seemed a bit worried, but she told him that while Lucas hardly needed any schooling, he could be sent to school as well despite being younger than his sister, who was allowed to enter forest at age of 7. William was worried his wife would be extremely furious though. Erica decided to help out by talking to Myra herself. William looked at his child and stated vegetables and children were alike, they grow up fast. Erica mentioned they adults also wither away just the same. William noticed she was holding a bag and asked what it was. She wondered as well, as Lucas was holding it so carefully before. They opened it and were bombed by the strong smell of the waste. Lucas was sleeping soundly, while others and spirits were forced to stinky bag of his. And that's how Lucas was allowed to go into forest without him knowing. Later at home, the village chief and others told Jeffrey he reeked really bad, and that smell took him 3 days to wash off. Some months passed, and the season of autumn arrived when pumpkins at Lucas's farm had grown large enough. Lucas was also working on planting grapevine seedlings, which would take 2 to 3 years to grow before bearing fruits. After which, he went to the forest for hunting with his father, sister, and Master Montes. He also received a sword from his master, while his father used a farming tool as his weapon since he was more comfortable with it. Isabel kept checking in Lucas, making sure he was focused and not letting his guard down. He was amazed by how calm his sister was, even in this scary forest, where they could lose their life anytime against the monsters. Ariana let him know the monsters around here were small fry, they would be fine. Lucas then noticed some monsters' waste, and he saw it as his precious fertilizer. He eagerly started collecting it with some tools and bag to take it back home, forgetting about the hunt. But then his sister came and touched the waste with her hands, determining that it was still warm, which means there were monsters nearby. At the same time, something was eyeing them from bushes and all of a sudden jumped at them with a sprint. Isabel kicked Lucas out of the way, saving him from the attack. It was a horned monster rabbit, and Montes stated it was perfect prey for beginners. William told Lucas to try hunting it. Lucas prepared his body enhancement and drew his sword to fight. Montes reminded him of the basics of fighting monsters, to dodge an enemy's attack first and then counter with a slash. Lucas waited before a rabbit attacked him. After dodging, he used that chance to launch a slash at the monster. But he missed it, his sword was too far back from the target. Montes was furious at his failure, while Lucas switched the strategy and used wind magic slashes to rain down attacks on the horned rabbit. After the horned rabbit was severely damaged, Lucas thought he was done, but his father told him it was not over yet, not until he finishes off the game. The injured horned rabbit looked at him with desperate eyes as he took the sword to finish the deal. Lucas knows hunting was an act of taking a life, so he saw it through till the end. Later, the same rabbit was cooked up for their lunch, although Lucas still kept looking at his hands, still being able to smell the blood. Isabel prepared the meal, then his father asked him to eat. Lucas tried the meal and found it really delicious. His father said he coated the meat with homemade basil mustard. He then praised Lucas for his first hunt, and Lucas seemed all cheered up now, since it's been a while since someone complimented him. His sister also patted his head, which ruined his mood, and he asked if she washed her hands. William sensed something and stood up from his seat, and Montes also prepared his sword. He warned Lucas of the danger. It turned out to be a big monster lizard, and William was all welcoming for the huge prey, who's gonna become their delicious dinner today. William always liked the big game, and Montes asked the kids to back up their father. Lucas used wind magic to try to damage the lizard monster's skin, but it was too tough and wind didn't penetrate him. Lucas didn't manage much damage, and Isabel told him it was a tough one. The lizard monster then charged a fire breath and unleashed it right at Lucas. He used water magic to shield himself from fire, but it didn't seem to be enough, since a 5-year-old could only manage output to a limit. Ariana yelled at Maria to pull herself together. At this rate, Lucas was in danger. Isabel wanted to help him, but before that, Master Montes used his flame slash to cut the flames and disperse them. Lucas was glad by the save from Master, and he stated to deal damage to beasts of intermediate rank or higher, one needs to enchant their weapon with magic. At the same time, William was closing in on the monster with body enhancement. Then he activated diamond strengthening magic on his farming tool, and it began glowing brightly. Lucas had not seen a weapon glow like that before, while his father sliced off the monster's head in one swoop with that farming tool. He was amazed by his father's strength, to think he cut that lizard monster with thick skin just like that in one hit. It wasn't just his weapon, but his father's body was also shining bright like a diamond, making him more curious about the magic he used. Later, they carried the hunted game back to village, and villagers jumped in joy at William bringing in another amazing meat. They declared it would be a feast, while Myra checked on Lucas. After the feast was ready, Lynette liked the meat and Erica had helped with the cooking preparation earlier. The meat looked like it would be over in a flash, considering how fast everyone was eating it. Monty stated that the bones of this monster were strong enough to be used to craft weapons. They could use every part of it to make sure there won't be anything wasted. This was also how they show respect to those who have their lives. Lucas thought it was right, and even though this monster was scary and fierce, he was respectful towards it, giving its life for them. Later, Lynette asked if Lucas would start his school this spring. He was looking forward to it, while Lynette would join the school 1 year later than him. Cliff was also joining this year, and he was already worried about being bullied. Lynette thought Jeffrey might bully them both, but she was sure Lucas would save them. Cliff was counting on him to protect him. Then Lynette asked him what he wanted to do once he was at school. Lucas wanted to try growing some wasabi, which was definitely not the answer she was looking for, as it was not even related to school. Ariana states school sounds boring, and Lucas it sounded like something youthful. Isabel noticed Lucas was thinking more than eating, so she asked if she should take his meat. He said he'll eat it right away, while Jeffrey was already full by eating too much meat, trying to impress Isabel. William and the village chief were busy enjoying their sock and talking about how much their wives would allow them to drink and restrict them. Lucas thought Erica's cooking was really good, and thinking about next year and the year after that, he knew a lot of things would change, but he wished days like this could last forever. But the very next day at school, Lucas Cliff was already being bullied by other students, and Lucas was about to do something about it to save Cliff. But when the bullies noticed him, Cliff sold him out, saying Lucas there has money, they can bully him instead. The bullies focused on Lucas now and commented that he tasted like crap. Right then, his sister arrived with his lunch, which he forgot at home, and told him not to play around before school to avoid being late. He was not really playing here. After the bullies saw Isabel, they quickly knelt, begging her for mercy. Lucas wondered what exactly she did to scare them, while she began speaking about wanting some meat pie, dried black lizard, and other tasty meat dishes. The bullies ran away claiming they would get those dishes right away since they valued their lives. That aside, Isabel told Lucas not to get bullied like that. Cliff was looking up to Lucas even more now to have such a strong big sister. Well, Lucas thought of Cliff as a jerk now though. Later at school, all the students were present in their magic class, and their teacher introduced herself as Gemma, in charge of their magic classes. She was one of Erica's students, and after seeing two new students, she was happy and knew right away Lucas was a fellow disciple of her master's. Lucas looked forward to working with her, but she straight up declared that she had nothing left to teach him already and passed him from the class. The students already looked up to Lucas, thinking he was really amazing to be passed on. On the very first day, Lucas wondered if he was standing out in a bad way. Gemma told them their lesson today was target practice using magic, and she asked Jeffrey to show them how it was done. Jeffrey stepped forward, looking all cool and trying to be tough in front of Lucas. He activated fire magic and aimed it at the target, shooting it with all his strength to make sure his words reached Isabel. His fireball almost reached the target with the right aim, then it disappeared just before hitting it. Gemma praised him for a good demonstration, and Lucas wondered why the fireball vanished. Gemma informed him there was a defensive spell cast on the target, so in terms of toughness, it had the same defense as an intermediate-level magic beast. Breaking through that target was the least requirement for anyone to be permitted to enter the forest. Jeffrey came back looking all high and mighty, and Gemma told Lucas he was next. Lucas recalled how Pierce threw a defensive spell and hit the target, especially if it were to be an intermediate magic beast like that lizard they fought earlier. Last time, he could not deal any damage at all, and he remembered Erica's lesson about deploying multiple magic circles at once to increase the power of their magic. She told him he found activated multiple magic spells simultaneously, like the time he activated that attack against the ape monster earlier. With each magic spell of the same type, the magic attack becomes twice as stronger, although it requires double stamina and mana. Lucas thought it was worth a try, so he prepared a triple spell for starting and shot the fireball at the target with a lot of firepower behind it, strong enough to make him fall back from recoil. The fireball pierced the target as if there was no defensive spell at all, and everyone including Gemma were thrilled by the demonstration. Lucas was also happy, until he noticed that since the fireball pierced the target, it was now heading towards the school behind it. The attack ended up blowing up the half-school building like a paper castle. Gemma and others were left speechless, and so was Lucas, having no explanation for his actions. Others looked away from him, as if they were not involved in this at all. And when he tried to talk to Gemma, she claimed to have told him earlier not to use multi-layered spells in school. But he didn't remember her saying anything like that, and while everyone was avoiding him, Jeffrey told him it was not bad at all. Finally, someone spoke up for him, while others just away from Lucas. Later that night, Lucas was sitting alone in Fields, still feeling guilty about the school building. And instead of making friends, he ended up being scared by all the kids at school, who realized he was just as scary as his sister. They decided to stay away from him. He knows that his mother would definitely scold him and ban him from using magic for a while, whereas his sister might punish him severely with a wooden stick. The fear of facing them made him consider running away from home.